Hello and welcome to TC Sports, the home of the Council Sports Talk. I'm Jacob Butzine alongside Andrew Schultz and Aaron Klinker. Oh my goodness, guys. College football week 2, insane. NFL week 1, insane. We have so much to talk about today. You might see a little bit of a Vikings fan come out just as a precursor. Let it out now. Go ahead. Let it out.
Okay, I just want to say to Packers fans, you guys have no receivers. Your quarterback is mid. Congratulations, you'll beat up on the very weak Bears next week. Justin Jefferson owns your franchise. Kirk Cousins owns your franchise. He has a record of 5-4-1 against your team. He has a record of 5-4-1 against Aaron Rodgers. He owns you. He still owns you, and he always will own you.
All right.
Till Rodgers makes a move in later in the season, but whatever.
Who's he throwing to? Okay.
All right, he's got it out. He let it out. We had to let him get that out. So, alrighty.
Thank you.
Well, let's go ahead and start with college football. So, let's first start with Andrew. Give us an update on how everyone did in week 2 and the overall season points so far.
All right. Well, after you guys laughed at me for picking Kentucky and USC, I've taken the lead with a whopping 6 points, getting 3 out of the 5 games we predicted right last week. We all got Pitt wrong, and we all got Baylor wrong. So, Jacob, you only ended up with getting 1 point from Bama. Same with you, Clink. Clink, you are in sole possession of last place with 3 points. But I have 5 and I have 6.
All right, still a tight race at the top.
It's only week 2. I mean,
Andrew and I are getting separation from
Clink. You're getting worse each week so far.
If only you didn't.
If Bama doesn't win, you missed on all 5.
Hey, me too. Don't worry.
However, if Bama doesn't win, the whole country would be celebrating.
I mean,
Alabama.
Who cares? Michigan's better.
All right.
Well, sorry, I'm just looking to see who asked.
Well, this is a perfect way to start talking about week 2 of college football. So Michigan finally has their quarterback, in my opinion, by a astronomical amount.
It was not even close. It was not a close race.
No. Aaron witnessed me singing the Michigan fight song for 2 touchdowns, and he said, "All right, I'm out of here. Peace."
Yeah. Can I just say something about that whole QB competition?
Sure.
Look, you guys know how I feel about Michigan, but I'll give any team credit where it's due most of the time. But JJ McCarthy should have just opened the year as a starter. Like, there was no point in having that QB competition. I understand Cade helped you guys get to the playoffs last year. I understand that, but just from that one game of JJ playing, I'm just like, why hasn't this dude been the starter since game 1?
Well, I'll disagree with that. As a Michigan fan, I'll speak for Button as well. In camp, at least, all the reports were saying Cade is right there with JJ when it comes to throwing and hitting targets. And the offenses they run are 2 completely different offenses. You can totally tell Michigan's offense is way better when JJ's in the game. But Cade would start for most D1 schools. Like, he is still very talented.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't turn the ball over. He is pretty accurate. But I think from last year, JJ has gone from, like, here to here. And Cade kind of remained the same or possibly has even taken a step down. It looks like mentally he's just not in the game anymore. Like he's just kind of dejected, kind of off to the side. At least that's what it looked like watching him play in person. He just kind of looked out of it, like he didn't want to be there. So I wouldn't be surprised if he transfers after this season or it takes him a few games to kind of get his mojo back. But JJ's definitely the clear winner because he's just taken this massive leap from last year, which I don't think anyone expected it to be this massive. But JJ for Heisman, he's now the fifth best to win the Heisman odds wise.
So also to add to that, JJ hurt his shoulder in the spring, so he didn't play it. He didn't start playing till July. So I think that was also part of it. I think the other part was out of respect of Cade for what he did do. Granted, he controlled the season last year. Cade kept it here. Haskins kind of was like the lead back. Cade was like the next guy that kind of just was like, all right, I'm gonna control the team, control the offense, hand it off.
So like a game manager type role.
Yeah, he was very much a game manager.
Okay. Yeah,
I
that's
had
the vibe I
massive
was getting from him.
respect for Cade. He won us a Big Ten championship. He beat the Nuts. So he will always have a place at Michigan. I'm not saying I'm not one of those fans that boos him when he walks on the field. I actually was one of the fans who cheered him on the field out of respect. But I mean, he'll always have that place in Michigan because of the things he did do. Like you can't take away from the fact that he helped us win a Big Ten championship. He helped us beat that other team, and JJ is just going to help us beat them for the next 3 years and have us be back to back to back to back Big Ten champs.
Yeah, and I also think like Cade's ceiling was the playoff. JJ's ceiling is going to be a natty, hopefully. Quiet
okay,
you.
I choked on my water.
I said his ceiling is a natty. I'm not saying that he's going to.
JJ's ceiling is top 5 pick.
Okay,
for sure.
Now, see that I could if he develops the way I think he's going to, I could definitely see him playing on Sundays. I will say
he's playing on Sundays.
Harbaugh has finally recruited the quarterbacks. I mean, we have another 5-star coming in. Hopefully, I think he signed or verbally committed, but we're finally getting these 5-star quarterbacks that Harbaugh was supposed to be getting, but it was hard to be when Shea Pooperson came along and it just messed everything up. But anyways, besides the point, let's move on. Let's just start with our other rival, Notre Dame. Notre Dame is bad. I'm not even just gonna sugarcoat. Notre Dame is bad.
I was gonna go on a rant for about 5 minutes talking about Notre Dame, but Pat McAfee released a skit. It's Ty Schmidt as Lou Holtz, and I think that just sums it up perfectly. If you haven't seen it, just type in Lou Holtz sends a letter to Marcus Freeman of Notre Dame, Pat McAfee. It's absolutely hilarious. I've watched it like 5 times. But if you're Notre Dame, join a conference, okay? Come to the Big Ten. Your hockey team already plays here. Come to the Big Ten, where you can lose a game to Marshall and still have a chance at making the playoffs. But right now, you're just a bunch of bums disguising yourselves as a top 5 team. Get out of here. Ohio State, how do you only beat them by 11? Okay? Marshall scored more points on Notre Dame than you did. Okay? And you have a so-called explosive offense. Okay? I don't see it. Michigan, number 2 in the country. Changed my mind.
Aaron, anything to say about Notre Dame?
Overhyped per usual. Andrew, you make great points about Notre Dame. And honestly, I can't believe I'm agreeing with a Michigan fan, but you're not wrong about Ohio State's offense. I'm still waiting to see the explosiveness. Yeah, some of their receivers are hurt, but I'm still waiting on the explosion.
They lost to Marshall. They lost to Marshall.
Marshall.
We're just gonna put a period on that and just leave it at that. Wow, Texas really surprising America on Saturday. I mean, I was sitting there, I'm like, Texas is going to win this game until I remembered, oh, you're right. There's only 2 teams in the country when you add up all of their stars, it goes over 100 stars, and one of them is Alabama. Eventually, talent takes over, and
The refs.
Nick Saban. Well, I wouldn't even say the refs.
You
Nick
know
Saban.
exactly what play I'm talking about, Jacob. You know exactly
Yes.
what I'm talking
If we're
about.
talking about the safety, it was not a safety. Okay. Watch the play. His elbow never touches. Your hand can touch the ground, and you're not down.
I don't even.
Moving
the
on.
refs didn't play any factor in my opinion. That was strictly, I just think talent took over and better coaching took over. Not that Sarkisian is not a good head coach, but you have one of the best to
I
ever
disagree
coach
with
the
that.
game. So.
Sarkisian outcoached Saban, and that game, Bama was going to win that game after Ewers left the game. If Ewers stays in that game, Texas wins by 2 touchdowns.
I'm not saying that, but he's still a legendary coach and will never ever. He will get blown out maybe once every couple of years, and I don't even know the last time he has gotten blown out. So my point is he could still be out coaching a game and still coach a hell of a game and still try to put his team in it, and that's just how it is.
Andrew, sorry, I just wanted to put one more point and then we can move on. It's funny that you guys mentioned the whole Quinn Ewers getting hurt because the last time Texas and Alabama played was in the national championship, and I wasn't super into football back then, but from what I've been told, had Colt McCoy, who was Texas's quarterback at the time, not gotten hurt, they could have won that game. I could be wrong about that, but that is what I have been told. Can you guys confirm that?
Yeah, I think that's what they said on.
Yeah. Yeah, they said something about that, but I wasn't gonna move on, but I will after this. Bryce Young is no longer my Heisman favorite. I mean,
However, he showed why he won the Heisman. He ain't winning it this year, but he showed why he won it last year.
I wouldn't say he's yes, I'll agree. I don't want to say he won't win it because he's still undefeated, and more than likely he's still gonna have a chance to win it, unless he plays like that again against, I mean they have some ranked opponents coming up.
Alabama did not show up that game. Bama did not show up. They came out.
No.
They are lucky to survive. And if Ewers does not go down, if I was Ewers, I don't know why you left the game. I would have been fighting to stay in there. It's my non-throwing shoulder. I'll stay in there. I'll keep taking hits, whatever.
Yeah.
Look, Bama will get upset this year. We just got to sit back and wait because it's coming. I really hope I didn't just jinx it, but it's coming. What?
Michigan's coming. That's who's going to come.
Honestly, listen, if Michigan upsets Alabama in the playoffs or the national championship, hey, I will give you guys my respect because I hate Alabama more than I do Michigan.
It won't be an upset when we play them.
All right, moving on. For the first time since 2007, Appalachian State has finally beat a top 10 team. Thank God Michigan is not the only team on that list anymore. Texas A&M fell to the Appalachian State, and I could not be happier to see an SEC team lose because you know why? The SEC is overrated. I didn't really have much to say about it. Texas A&M's offense is from like 1930. He's still using thousands of pieces of paper to run an offense. Like, dude, come on. A&M is awful. I'm just gonna prove my point to Andrew's brother that I don't really give a flying fart where we end up in the recruiting rankings because clearly it don't matter. So
can't buy a team in college football and expect to win.
Saban said it best. However, them two fighting, I can't wait till them two play.
That'll be fun. That'll be fireworks.
No, I'm calling it right now. That's the game that Bama's going to get beat.
Nah, not with Texas A&M's kicker. That dude. Holy
That's an
crap.
awful.
It
That was
wasn't
an
even
awful
close.
kick.
He's not going to need to
No.
kick a game-winning field goal. Bama's going to get blown out.
I don't know about that. I think
Tell me I'm wrong.
Bama's gonna dominate Tamu.
If it's in Tuscaloosa, they ain't
I think it's in
winning. And
Tuscaloosa this year.
I think it is too. But yeah, hey, we thought Texas was gonna be blown out, so
I also want to make an apology to that fan base. Outstanding performance. That's all I'm going to say.
Props to Texas, but still.
Let's talk about a couple more before we head into the next week's predictions. Just real quick, UK, Florida, clearly just a 1 week wonder.
Anthony Richardson is not him, Clink. He is not him.
He's really young. He's still got some growing to do.
Will Levis is that dude, though.
Oh, I know.
Will Levis puts mayonnaise in his coffee, and that's freaking disgusting.
Hey,
so
him and Dan Campbell next year are going to be electric, okay?
All right.
Detroit Lion quarterback right there.
UK has a chance, which I think they could. Now they're number 9. They don't play anybody till they play Ole Miss October 1st, which I think they could beat Ole Miss. Then they play South Carolina, play Mississippi State. I hope, or I can't wait for the matchup on October 29th, UK at Tennessee.
Ooh.
That's going to be a top 10 matchup easily.
Yeah, Kentucky is definitely going to be a threat.
What about Kentucky, Georgia?
Kentucky, Georgia don't play till the second to last week of the season.
Oh, okay.
So, but could you imagine UK and Georgia playing second to last week, both undefeated?
It'll happen. It'll happen. Kentucky's good. They got a squad. Stoops has got a squad down there.
They have a squad, and they're gonna be there. I could see them being undefeated playing Georgia, but you never know. They got Vandy. Whew.
Sam Hartman came back from like 9 months off of football and dropped 4 touchdowns and 350 yards on him. I'm not worried about Vandy if I'm Kentucky.
I'm not overlooking Vandy, but I'm not freaking the hell out that we're playing them, you know?
Oh, I would look forward to the next opponent if I'm playing Vandy. That's a bye week. That's a scrimmage, right?
Vanderbilt?
Tune-up game.
Oh, no. Anyways.
Fair enough.
Okay, we'll talk about a couple more. BYU. Wow.
Go Cougars.
Really shocking us this weekend. I mean, it was a close matchup, don't get me wrong, but they had to go to 2 overtimes. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy that they pulled out a win. I mean, I have nothing else to say. I'm respect for beating Baylor, but
that loss is on Baylor. That's on them. You got to win. If you want to be considered a playoff team, you got to win those games.
Got to handle business. Comes down to that.
Speaking of making the playoffs, we won't be seeing Wisconsin in the playoffs this year.
No, they got to win the Big Ten championship anyways. Who cares? That's Michigan's.
I'm saying, but I'm saying they lost to Washington State.
No one cares about Wisconsin.
Yeah, Wisconsin. Wisconsin plays Ohio State soon, which Ohio State should not overlook them, but I'm just saying Wisconsin might not have an offense.
Madison, or is it in the toilet seat?
Toilet seat.
Oh my God. Yeah, Ohio State's gonna win that by like 20.
Yeah, it's in the toilet seat. And then Tennessee Pitt. Wow, Tennessee looks really good on the defensive side of the ball for sure. Offensively, yes, but defensively, wow, they looked really good in that game.
Pitt made too many mistakes. Put Tennessee back in the game, and that's what cost Pitt the win. Pitt should have won.
I think Aaron and I were watching that game, and I thought both of us were kind of just saying, like, well, Tennessee's defense is pretty solid.
Look, Tennessee is not back, but don't sleep on them this year. That's, that's my that's my bottom line.
They'll win 8 games.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. Well, like we said, crazy week 2 of college football. Now let's head into week 3 of college football. Here we go. All righty. Speaking of BYU versus Oregon. Boys, what are we thinking? What are we thinking about this game?
I think you want to go.
Let me pull up my notes here.
Well, here, since I got mine up, I think BYU, to be successful in this game, needs to run the ball to set up their passing game. I'm not necessarily sold on their quarterback quite yet. I mean, he played great against Baylor, don't get me wrong, but they didn't run the ball that well and they still won. I think they need to get their running game going so that they can set up the pass with their quarterback. Like I said, I don't know in depth BYU's team in its whole, but from what I've researched about them, they need to really get the run game going to set up the pass if they want to beat Oregon. Not that I think that Oregon is like this big team to beat, but it's still Oregon. So, what do you guys think?
Well, my whole thing is I don't trust Oregon in big games, but I will give them this. They'll at least look good while losing. I mean, their uniforms are some of the best in college football.
The game's in Oregon, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's at
I
Oregon.
still don't trust them. Like, I just don't.
I mean, Oregon's a 3.5-point favorite, and they give Oregon 54% chance to win. But I'm sorry, but after watching them play Georgia, I mean, they had nothing. Granted, Georgia and BYU are very different. Doesn't matter.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't matter. They didn't look like. I mean, they didn't look like anything against Georgia. So, I have BYU winning this game 27-17 because I don't trust Oregon's offense enough because, well, Bo Nix is, yeah.
Well, I have BYU winning 35-30.
All right. And then I'm going to go different. I think Oregon bounces back in this game. They took their L, they took it hard. Okay. They had a cupcake opponent last week, knocked the socks off them as they should. And I think Noah Sewell and that defense makes the difference against BYU, and Oregon winning 31-27.
I like that score.
Oregon doesn't play a ranked team again after BYU until Utah. So, if they want to keep their playoff hopes alive, they have to beat BYU and not just win and get 3 points, like win by like 25 so that
I
they
don't
can say
think Oregon's making the playoffs. They got USC and Utah to go through. That's not happening.
Well, yeah, they'd have to play USC in the championship game, but at least in regards to they have an easier path until they play Utah second to last week, and if then they were to beat Utah, then you could say they're legit. But I don't think they're legit. But I'm just saying. All right, moving on. Penn State Nittany Lions versus Auburn. Aaron, go ahead and start us off with this. What do you what are you thinking about this game? Don't give a prediction yet. Just what do you think?
I think Penn State, how they play is going to depend on Sean Clifford. I know he's not always consistent. Auburn can't exactly throw the ball. I've looked at the last couple of their games, and I don't think they've broken 200 passing yards. So they're going to have to rely on Tank Bigsby a lot.
I'm with you.
Penn State Auburn played last year, and Penn State won, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Was a whiteout?
Wait, is this game their whiteout?
Yeah, it was a whiteout in Penn State last year. Yeah, Penn State won. Yep. Yeah, Penn State won because they had a whiteout and lost to Michigan. Yeah. Yeah, because Penn State's like 500 all time when they have whiteouts. That's how I remember that. For Penn State to win, Clifford can't turn the ball over. I think that's number one. And Penn State's defensive line has got to come up big in this game. You can't let Bigsby get 5 yards of carry. Can't let him. You got to stay in it the whole game. You can't let him chip away at you because he will. And Bigsby's good enough where he might have 3 yards of carry in the first half, but then he'll bust one open late in the second half. And if you're still close, that could be a game swinger. So Penn State's D-line and Clifford are their keys to success against Auburn. Auburn's got to stick with their game plan and hop on the back of Bigsby if they want to win.
So Auburn barely beat like San Jose State. They only won by 8. If Auburn wants to win this game, they need to figure out the passing attack. I mean, they ran for 210 yards. So don't get me wrong, but if you want to beat Penn State, I mean, you're at home, so you already have an advantage, which is nice. But if you want to beat Penn State, you can't turn the ball over because their defense is going to be solid. Their defense is always solid. Their front seven's always, whatever. But that's my key to that. However, I think Sean Clifford is going to be, as much as I am not a fan of him, Mr. 6-year freaking quarterback.
I still
Not a
can't
fan of
believe
him.
Pretty sure he's like 30. He's got 2 kids, mortgage,
already
goes
looking
to
for a
wine
house.
tastings.
I
His
mean,
wife's already pregnant with their 4th kid. This dude's
Pretty
gonna
sure
set a
he
record.
started the same year JT Barrett did, if I'm not mistaken.
No, because JT
No.
Barrett
His freshman year of college was like 2016. Oh
I'm
my god,
joking.
it's been 6 years.
I'm not being serious.
Oh,
I think his point is that
He's been there a long time.
I have mixed feelings. JT Barrett is part of the Lions organization, which makes me mad. But anyways, I think Penn State wins this game 35-32 at Auburn.
Penn State.
yeah, I got.
Penn State will go 34, Auburn 17.
I got Penn State winning 30-25.
Solid 25. Nice.
being generous.
Alrighty. Texas Tech, NC State. What are we thinking?
Texas Tech just stormed the field against an American team. NC State by 90.
Aaron?
Well, I don't think NC State by 90, but I'd say NC State by about 8. I got NC State winning 40-32. Because Texas Tech's QB's out. Devin Leary looked a lot better last week. So, yeah.
I think NC State is overrated. They almost lost. They almost lost to an American team, which I guess Texas Tech did. So to me, it's pretty neutral. And I think NC State's overrated. They are a 10-point favorite, which is surprising to me. But Texas Tech seems to always have a football team that can play spoiler. I think the key to this game for Texas Tech is to get their passing attack going. I mean, their quarterback already has 572 yards in 2 games, which is great, but he already has 3 interceptions too. So for them, making sure their quarterback doesn't turn the ball over, making sure he takes control of this game. He already has 74 passing attempts compared to NC State's 58, which is just crazy. So, but I think Texas Tech wins this game 42-24 in North Carolina State.
Big upset. So obviously I'm not picking NC State by 90 points because that's ridiculous. But
89 is not.
But 89.5,
I mean, you can go 88, 85.
But I do think NC State's overrated. However, I think Texas Tech, like I predicted Florida, is going to be riding off that win a little too high. And NC State's going to come swing the hammer. NC State by 12, 42-30.
All righty. All right, now this time I'm gonna say the game, and I want you to give your score prediction, then we'll talk about it. Michigan State, Washington. Aaron?
Michigan State 35, Washington 20.
Andrew?
I'm doing Michigan State 42, Washington 17.
I have Michigan State 28, Washington 14. I don't think either of these offenses are good. Not even in the slightest. So I don't even want to. 28 is pushing it. However, Michigan State has Peyton Thorne, who was at Northwestern, and Washington has Penix Jr., which was at Indiana. He transferred there. So Big Ten quarterbacks taking over this game. However, Penix seems to be playing a lot better at Washington than he was in Indiana. Granted, I think it's a little bit of a better team. I mean, you're comparing two ripe apples.
I think
but
Indiana is better this year than they were last year, though. So,
yep, I can give you that. It seems so. Washington's a 3.5-point favorite, which doesn't surprise me. It's in Washington at 7:30 on ABC. Michigan State is FPI 53% to 46%. So, I think Peyton Thorne though takes control of this game. Just because I think Michigan State's defense is going to be a lot better than Washington's defense, which is why I think they'll end up winning this game.
I think Montana State put up 20 on Washington, and it was like semi-close. I can't remember the exact box scores. Washington's defense won't be able to hang.
No. Washington scored Kent State, 20. Kent State scored 20 on them.
That's who it was.
Well, the tickets for this game are going for $69, so that's nice.
Hey, Michigan State's got that number 69 Coxland. Dude's a legend.
Oh, that's lovely.
That's his name, okay?
All right, moving on. Miami versus Texas A&M. Andrew?
Tamu bounces back. Tamu 38, Miami 28.
Aaron?
I got the Aggies winning 47-45. I think this is going to be a close one.
I'm shocked you guys think Josh Gass's offense will score that much. However, I think Miami wins this game 27-24. I don't want to say the U is back. They're not, but I think Miami is a lot better than they are in the past. I think it's by their quarterback play. And I think A&M is going to just be very blah after that rough loss. So anything important you need to add? Because I think we need to move on.
If King plays bad this game, he's gonna get benched, and A&M better come out pissed off.
I'm with you. I'm with you. Their defense needs to or their offense needs to play a lot better.
Their defense needs to wreck Tyler Van Dyke.
We'll see. It's gonna be tough. I mean, I don't think Miami's offensive line is necessarily the greatest, but all right, let's do we'll end with this other one. So let's do Appalachian State Troy. I know no one really cares about this game, but I felt after the App State beating A&M and now game day going to Appalachian State, I think it's nice to do this game while they're playing Troy. I have App State winning this game 35-14, and I think App State is going to run the table in their conference and win their conference, in my opinion. Aaron?
Yeah, I got App State winning 28-14. I mean, obviously they just came out of nowhere last week, and you're right. They're gonna run the table at their conference. Like I think you said it best, but yeah, I got them winning 28-14.
App State 65, Troy 24.
Nice.
App State can score at will when they want to. So
Aaron and I were close. I have 35-14. He has 28-14. Pretty close. Mm-hmm. So, okay, I want to end with this game because I just in my body for some reason I just think that this team can pull off a W, even though they did lose last week. Andrew does not agree with me clearly, but Nebraska, Oklahoma. Nebraska wins this game 28-27 in Lincoln. Their head coach was fired, but now their interim head coach is going to get them ready for this game. I guarantee it, because honestly, Scott Frost wasn't getting them ready, so I think anyone else will get them ready.
That's not saying much.
Well,
but I get yeah, Mickey Joseph, who is the interim head coach right now, he's basically auditioning for a coaching job, like a head coaching job, whether it's with Nebraska or some other team. But yeah, that's basically what he's doing on Saturday.
Andrew.
So, Clink, who do you have winning?
No, Nebraska's still gonna somehow lose. I got Oklahoma winning 30-27.
I was looking for your score prediction so I could write it down in our prediction book, and you just never gave it to me.
I love how he just like talks up Nebraska and then like, oh, they're still losing this game.
I don't trust them. I don't trust them.
I didn't. Thanks, Button, for your
Appreciate
thumbs
it.
up. Mickey Joseph, will be his first game as head coach of Nebraska. There's some pressure with that. I think some people will crack under pressure, make a few game management mistakes here and there, kind of like how we saw in the Pacific
Wow.
Northwest on Monday night. But Oklahoma is too strong, and they're gonna win big, 35-14.
Alrighty. So those are our college football predictions for week 3. Please comment below on what you think about our predictions. And when we come back from break, we'll be moving to the NFL, and we'll see you after the break. Right. Alrighty, welcome back. Now we're moving on to the National Football League. What a crazy week 1. I mean, just all around, a lot of things happening, a lot of eye openers, I think, for teams that we thought would not win a game until maybe November that won their games week 1. So let's just kind of go into some reactions. Let's first start with Thursday night. Goodness gracious, the Rams did not show up in that game.
So I think it's just week 1 bugs. I think the Rams will come back. I think the Rams are still top 3 favorites in the NFC. I wouldn't overreact too much on them being that bad, but I do think Buffalo is that good. I think Buffalo, they are going to be rolling this year.
Josh Allen's my MVP pick this year. And also the Rams play the Falcons next week.
Player of the year. Give them defensive player of the year, might as well. Give them, face humper of the year,
Stiff arm of the year,
comeback player of the year. Just give him all the awards, okay? Because he's just doing it all this year.
Except the coin toss.
Oh yeah, he still loses coin toss, but that's whatever.
I had Buffalo the best record in the league at 15-2 this year. And I actually had the losing week 1, so that means I had them winning 15 of their next 16 games. So I got a little wrong, but Buffalo just came out and played. Jets still looked bad. I don't even want to dwell on that. But I wanted to say the Jets still look bad. Granted, they don't have Zach Wilson,
who I'm pretty sure is like 42.
Listen, they did not have the dog mentality of Zach Wilson, all right? They had the elite form of Joe Flacco when he actually helped the Ravens win for once. It was just he was on the Jets, so
Lamar looked like he took a break halfway through that game, and he still dominated.
For real, Jets.
Lamar probably went to the bathroom after the second quarter. Said, we'll be all right.
Wow, either Chicago looked good in the rain or the 49ers looked really, really bad.
I think Soldier Field is so bad that Chicago is just so used to playing on it, and every other team, it's like if you ever played like Mario Super Sluggers on the Wii, they have the gimmicks on the field that cause different abilities. Well, guess what? Chicago's is the field is so bad, only Chicago players get an advantage. I think for the first time ever in my life, I saw a flag for wiping down the field so someone can kick the ball. Get a new stadium.
They sent in a proposal. I will disagree to an extent, only because I think not having Matt Nagy as their head coach, no matter who's coaching for them, I thought that they looked well in that kind of run coach. I mean, I just think it looked a lot better. 49ers, that coach is on the hot seat, in my opinion.
Shanahan needs to go. He can't win without Jimmy G for some reason. I don't know what it is.
That's a hot take, but I'm agreeing with you. Shanahan and Kingsbury, I think, should have been on the hot seat and have been for years. Other than the 1 year, Shanahan has a losing record. Like, it is abysmal record, too. It's like not even close.
Right. I agree. I mean, you can't lose to the Bears week 1, considering they were supposed to be, which, granted, the Bears were supposed to be one of the worst.
They still are.
They were only projected to win like 3 games, and they've already like met them halfway.
They'll only win 2 more. Rodgers is going to discount double check all over them next week.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers is going to be an abusive stepfather towards the Bears next week. He is going to beat them like Adrian Peterson beat his kids.
Oh my God.
Or like Le'Veon Bell beat Adrian Peterson.
AP's still going to the Hall of Fame.
AP's kids were like cheering for Le'Veon Bell, like, yeah, that's how that feels. Like,
and when AP got home, his kids were like, I have to get off this planet.
The Giants.
Saquon's back.
I don't know.
Right.
No. You didn't interrupt me. I was just gonna say Tennessee is about to take a fall, and it's gonna hit hard. I think Derrick Henry is not going to have anywhere near close what he's produced, mainly because of the quarterback play. And also I think Derrick Henry is I'm not gonna say Derrick Henry's not washed up, but I think he's getting near to the point where I don't think he can produce a 2,000-yard season like he did. He's not going to produce the numbers. Do I think Tennessee is going to be necessarily god awful? No, but they're not. I could see them being on the fringe of making the playoffs this year.
They're going to go back to like the 9 and 7 days.
Right.
Tennessee had a sloppy week 1, full of mistakes. I don't know how Fat Randy still has a job in the NFL, but I'd cut him immediately. Like, why? He is literally known for missing game-winning field goals. Like, it's Fat Randy, and, like, that's it. Like, that's who misses game-winning field goals is Fat Randy, okay?
They almost need 2 kickers.
Like, cut him, go sign Rodrigo Blankenship, who just got cut by the Colts. Dude has a bad hip, but guess what? He can still make kicks. Okay, Fat Randy, get him off your team. Okay, sloppy week 1 by Tennessee. Giants capitalized on mistakes. Daniel Jones still is Daniel Jones. Giants aren't going anywhere. Okay, they're still going to be bottom 5, bottom 10. But
Brian Daboll is the coach they needed. Are they going to make the playoffs? Probably not, but I think he's the coach that they've been needing for a while.
Him going for 2 to give them the lead was him saying, we've sucked really bad for years. You just gotta win 1 in that kind of way to just turn the tide on where things are. I think they're going to look better. Saquon's going to get hurt by week 10. Not that I want him to get hurt. I'm not saying I want him to get hurt, but I think I could see him getting hurt at some point. If he doesn't, great. But that offensive line is not good.
Your QB is still Daniel Jones. And Kenny Galladay is running out there like I would. So.
Also, I just want to point something out. I didn't watch much of that Giants-Titans game. But after Daniel Jones fumbled, Brian Daboll was tearing him a new one over on the sideline. And then right after, Daniel Jones took the offense down and scored. Well, Saquon scored, I'm pretty sure. But he helped.
That offense was all Saquon. If he's out, Giants lose by 45. So.
That's the thing I'm nervous about. I don't want Saquon to get overused because, like, he looked really, really good. But I also hope that they get some kind of passing game going, or Daniel Jones just runs for like 60 yards and then falls over due to Manti Te'o's girlfriend tackling him.
Just run a triple option with Daniel Jones and Saquon. Just go like full academy school.
No.
All right, a couple more before we get into predictions. I was going to say Houston's going to be good this year. They're going to contend in that conference division.
I think we'll
Yes
be
and
solid.
no.
I think we're solid.
They still have a lot of holes on that roster. Davis Mills looked really good though. Houston might have their guy.
Davis Mills is nice with it.
And now
Well.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. Houston, yeah, they didn't win on Sunday, but last year they started off 1-0, I want to say. I mean, yeah, it was Jacksonville and Urban Meyer, but they ended up having one of the worst records in the league. And this happened 2 years ago with Jacksonville. They started off 1-0. Gardner Minshew gave some big locker room speech, which honestly, that made me love Gardner Minshew. But then they end up going, what was it, 2-15, 2-14, first overall pick. So I'm not fully going to buy into the Texans, but I think they'll be a tough team.
They'll be solid. I don't think they'll be as bad as everyone thinks, but again, they still got a lot of holes, but they're solid. Colts, they got to clean up the mistakes. They went too much down too early and they couldn't claw back. But props for them for fighting back. And I think NFL games should not end in a tie. I think it's stupid that they end in a tie. Just walk the kickers out there at the 50-yard line and have them just kick till someone misses.
Dude, the fans are gonna be there till like 10 o'clock at night.
They're working on it, but speaking of Davis Mills, here's a guy who is a system quarterback. He is a system quarterback. Unlike this other guy
Tom Brady's
I know.
name wrong.
No.
Oh, we're going to Jared Goofball in the Lions game now?
No, well, I was gonna say, at least in regards to the Cowboys and Bucks, I really have no takeaway from that game, only because I just think like that was a boring game. I was bored, and I love watching Tom Brady. But I think Tom Brady now has so many new guys that he now has to develop. Okay, who are my guys to throw to? He still has Mike Evans. He just got Chris Godwin back. Chris Godwin is coming off of an injury.
Oh, he also went out during the game.
Yeah,
but
and
you also have Julio Jones, who apparently is back.
Julio's got like 3 plays in him every game, and that's it. Okay.
And one of those plays could be a game-winning touchdown. You never know.
They could be. He made some big plays.
Yeah. I'm okay with that.
I feel so stupid for picking Dallas.
Yeah, me too.
Because man, they looked so bad.
And
like,
now Dak is
Dallas
out.
fans, this is not your year, okay?
This is your year to suck.
If Jerry Jones wasn't your owner, you would be known, like, as well as like the Detroit Lions, same old Lions, okay? This is the same old Cowboys, okay? You are now a meme, okay? You are a meme, okay?
Wait.
Never go against the
just
goat.
checking to see if you guys are them boys.
Yeah, seriously.
Yes. Let's do one more because I know there's so much we could talk about week 1, but Seattle fans, from this point on, hate you with a burning passion. That quarterback gave you how long? 8 years?
Whoa. Slow down.
No.
Slow down. No. Hold on. Let me give you the other side of the argument, okay? Okay.
Bruh.
Russell Wilson chose to leave. He said, I am done with this franchise. Okay?
I can't blame him.
Now, he said basically, I am better than all of you. Okay? I am bigger than this organization. I am Russell Wilson. Okay? And what I say is what it is. Okay? He chose to leave after he said, I'll stay. Okay? So Seattle fans have a right to be angry, okay? It's not like Matthew Stafford where, after a long time, he gave everything to the organization, and then there was a new coaching change. So it was like this. Okay, Russell Wilson said, "I will stay," and then 2 seconds later, "I want out. Send me to Denver. Trade whatever you have. Get me out of here. I'm done." So Seattle fans have a right to be angry, and I'm okay with them being angry.
Okay.
And before I finish, Broncos country, wide left.
Broncos country. Let's lose. No, but on a more serious note, I just want to point out, because I read something the other day that Seattle wanted to trade Russell Wilson to the Browns back in 2018 for the first overall pick. They had put his name in trade talks years and years before, he actually wanted out. And obviously not this past offseason, but the offseason before, you heard rumors of him going to Chicago, him going to New York, I even want to say, like even the Saints for whatever reason. But this had been a thing that was brewing for years. So I agree. I understand what you're saying, but Seattle should not be booing Russell Wilson. Like, yeah, the way he left wasn't probably how they wanted him to, but Russ can't play all 12 positions on defense, or 11. Oh, right, I forgot it's a 12th man, but yeah.
I agree with that. I understand your guys' side, but also I understand Seattle's side because
Oh, I do too.
Listen,
you're on a new team now. Face it. Now you're going against our team, okay? You're on a separate team. We hate you.
listen.
Mm.
They have Pete Carroll to blame. His offense is strictly run through a running back. And what have they not have since Marshawn Lynch left? A running back.
Well, they had Chris Carson, but his neck said, "All right, I'm gonna head out."
But Chris Carson's not. No, Chris Carson's not even.
He's a
I
receiver.
know,
good
I
running
know.
back.
That's the closest thing they had to like a legit running back, and that's not even a legit.
Well, that's my
running back.
point. You have Marshawn Lynch, who's. No, I'm not gonna say that. But I was gonna say better than
Eagles,
AP,
man.
but he's not. He's not better than AP. But he's in. I would say he's in the caliber of him in his prime. You had him.
His prime was pretty dope.
Okay, I will allow that as a
Marshawn Lynch, when he was there in his prime, Seattle was ungodly. What happens when a running back leaves? They suck. Pete Carroll's offense is run through that. Yes, they utilized.
The defense also kind of left.
That defense also lost their minds, except Cam Chancellor.
But you're missing my point.
Hmm.
He has no running back. The offense is strictly through a running back. DK Metcalf's the only good receiver on that team. He now goes to the Broncos that have running backs, wide receivers, and decently caliber tight end, and a different offense. I don't blame him for leaving. If they weren't going to change their ways, and I think Russell Wilson didn't want Pete Carroll to be continued as head coach, and the fact that they said they were going to keep him, I think that's why they're mad, is because he was under the assumption that Pete Carroll was not going to have a job this year, and they stuck with him, and he said, I am a head out. Not that I don't love Pete Carroll, but I can't be in this offense anymore, the 1940s offense, or just playbook in general. So I get your side. I understand, but there's no right to boo him.
I think they have every right. You're on a different team now. Welcome to our city. This is what it's like for everybody else.
You don't see New England booing Brady.
Oh, you saw him. They cheered him on during the game, or not during the game, before and after the game. But during the game, they were loud and they were noisy for Brady.
I don't care about
just
during
like
the game.
Colts were during the game when Peyton came back. Okay,
Detroit
will be whenever Stafford comes back.
During the game is completely different than before and after.
Well,
They put him before the game.
Look, if they want to boo Russ before and after the game, or if they want to boo Russ during the game, that's fine. But don't do it before and after. Like, be grateful for the years that guy gave to your city. Like, he gave just about everything he had. And I get it. Seattle fans, they have every right to be pissed. Seattle fans have every right to be pissed. I'd be pissed off if the Vikings had a QB like that left, although we never will, so it doesn't matter. But Just boo him during the game. Like, I don't know.
I think they had every right to boo him before the game as well. You're on a different team. This is how it is. Okay, it's the men's league. This isn't college football.
All right, we'll leave it at that. Let's get into our predictions for the week. Chargers Chiefs. Damn, the Chargers look.
Pat Mahomes versus Justin Herbert. That's all. That's the headline.
Chargers look great. Chiefs are overrated. I don't care how bad they beat the Cardinals. Cardinals are not good.
That's a fair take. That's a fair take. But this could be the game of the year.
You be quiet.
No, I won't be quiet because
not you.
I know how these games go.
Not you. The other guy.
It will not be game of the year. I am saying now. It will not be game of the year.
I agree with that. It's not. I think
this is going to be a snooze fest after halftime.
Yeah, with the Chiefs winning.
Yep, Chiefs by 20.
Chargers 35, Chiefs 28.
Chiefs 48, Chargers 45. This is going to be a shootout. Just wait. Justin Herbert's going to be fired a piss missile that way. Patrick Mahomes is going to be fired a piss missile that way. It's going to be a shootout. The defenses are going to be an afterthought. They might as well just have both offenses try to score the fastest.
Chiefs 42, Chargers 20.
Justin Herbert scored 35 points on me in fantasy this week. And I still won. Get on my level. Imagine losing by 0.14. Yikes.
Couldn't be me. I lost by 15.
Andrew cries in the background.
That screen pass. Jacob, if Javonte Williams doesn't lose yards on that screen pass right before 5,
you win. You win.
But he lost like 3 yards, so I lost.
I know.
Well,
I hate Russell Wilson now. He's a fraud.
That's why he's okay with them booing him, because he lost him in fantasy.
Hey, if you're gonna go to a new team, you're gonna come back to your city. At least show up and not take 75 years to snap the ball. I'm pretty sure I aged 6 years waiting for him to snap the ball. Like he does.
I got married, had a wife and kid, and bought a house by that point.
Like I finished my homework in between snaps.
Homework?
Yeah, I did my homework in between the snaps of Russell Wilson because he took so long.
No. He was trying to say, all right, Broncos country, let's ride. What? I can't hear you. They're so loud. Broncos country, let's ride.
And then McMahon said, wide left.
Left wide. Broncos country left wide. All right. Cincinnati versus Dallas. Cincinnati 21, Dallas 3. They're not scoring more than 3 points. They're going to score 3 points every game this year. That's it. That's all they're getting. That's all you get.
Bengals 28, Cowboys 17. Joe Burrow and the defense are going to be out for blood.
Who's throwing touchdowns? Cooper Rush?
So
I do want to say
obviously I'm not picking Dallas again because dear Lord.
I am never picking Dallas for anything again. I don't care if it's Madden or what.
Cincinnati fans are going to go right back into the cycle of gain hope after one great game. And Jamar Chase and Burrow might connect for 600 yards against Trayvon Diggs. And so Bengals 42, Dallas 6.
Dallas is going to get some points in overtime. Or not overtime.
Bengals
garbage time.
Dallas a 15-0 lead to start the first quarter, and the Bengals will still win 42-15.
Jesus.
They got to protect Joe Burrow. I don't give a damn how injured that defense is for the Cowboys. That O-line can make them look like the 85 Bears.
How dare you disrespect America's team? How dare you?
What?
America's team.
Cowboys? They ain't America's team. They ain't even Texas' team. Houston is a better record than them.
Joe Burrow played like absolute hot garbage last week, and Bengals fans were still like, Joe Shiesty, the Lord and Savior.
No. Joe Burrow single-handedly kept them out of the game, but then he willed them back. Aside from the defense was the hero of that game. That's what I saw. Joe Burrow still did not play.
That's how I feel.
Tomlin
too.
buying the Steelers black Air Forces is the reason the Pittsburgh Steelers won. And you guys laughed at me for picking them to win the division. Like, they just beat the Cincinnati Bengals with Mitch Trubisky.
Quiet you.
No. Minka Fitzpatrick beat the Bengals, not Mitch Trubisky. No.
Mitch Trubisky was the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback.
Who?
Put up 23 points, and the Bengals lost.
All right.
McPherson
Joe Burrow threw
missed
more
it.
touchdowns to the Steelers than Trubisky. What are you talking about?
Moving on.
We can destroy the Bengals and the Cowboys franchise in a later episode.
Okay.
We can make just one episode for that.
Ooh, can we?
And
We
now
need to make
the
an
worst
episode
game
about
of the
just
week.
roasting every single NFL team.
Yes. New York Jets versus the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland's winning this game 35-10. New York is absolute garbage.
The Jets are not going to do anything with the elite checkdowns of Joe Flacco. Browns are going to run the ball down their throat. Browns 31, Jets like 10.
Cleveland 14, Jets 3. This is going to be the worst game of football I think everyone could possibly watch.
Without
That's
the
not
dog
true.
mentality of Zach Wilson, they will not win.
That's not true. Cleveland
put
Carolina
that
was
stupid elf in the midfield, and that is just horrific.
That elf looks like the Keebler Cookie Elf's angry older brother. I'm telling
He's a South Pole elf. That's what he is.
you. He's from the South.
all right. You got your boy, the greatest of all time, Tom Brady, going up against his kryptonite, the New Orleans Saints. So, what are we thinking here?
Saints 24, Bucks 17.
Saints 38, Tampa Bay 21.
Jameis are got to eat a W.
You both are going to hell.
I'll see you there.
Tampa Bay 20. Tampa Bay 28. Saints 24. No one can stop the GOAT.
The regular season Saints own Tom Brady.
Well, you know what? He's about to go 17-0.
We eating W's out here.
See that?
Yeah, okay.
That's a W. Let's eat one. Jameis is
All
the
right.
funniest man in the NFL. Changed my mind.
Yeah, Jameis might not play this game. I'm sure he's still hurt.
Wait, what?
Did he finish that game last week?
Oh, no. He finished. He led a comeback.
Oh, did he? Oh.
Winston,
Falcons swept another lead.
Winston. Okay? That's all you're going to hear next week.
And Slant Boy.
Yeah,
Well, they're not going to
Winston
call him
getting
Slant Boy.
sacked.
Tampa Bay put up 19 points on the Cowboys. 19. That's it. That game was horrific to watch, too.
It's week one. Week one. Tom Brady's about to feast on the
New Orleans Saints all day.
You know
All
the
right.
Saints are going to win. It's a regular
Moving
season.
on. Arizona Cardinals versus the Las Vegas Raiders. Raiders 42, Cardinals 14. Cardinals are going to be awful. Cardinals head coach will get fired by like week 6. I guarantee it.
I got the Raiders winning 31 to 20. Cardinals are going to put up garbage time points on offense. Kyler Murray, you better be studying your film. No COD. All right, the new COD's not out yet.
No Call of Duty.
And
It's not a double XP weekend either, so he'll play 7% better than he did last week.
That's good.
Yeah, trust the analytics. But Cliff Kingsbury, he needs to be fired.
I'm going Raiders 34, Arizona 9.
No, you're not even getting him a touchdown.
Nope, 3 field goals.
Cardinals won't be able to put up many points without D-Hop.
Actually, you know what? They can have 1 touchdown, going for 2, failing it after being down 21-3.
All righty. Up next, we have Chicago and Chicago's owner. What are we thinking?
Aaron Rodgers is going to reestablish his ownership of the Bears. However, due to no receivers on either side besides Darnell Mooney, who is going to be the best receiver playing during this game, never thought I'd be saying that, I got Packers 24-19.
Lizard King is back. Aaron Rodgers is only remaining target from last year, basically. Lazard and Rodgers hook up for probably 200 yards over Chicago and their non-existent defense because Rodgers will have all day to throw. The Lions will finish their game against the Commies by the time Rodgers gets even touched or pressured in the pocket. So Packers 31, Bears 12.
I have the Packers winning 35-7.
Bears, you had a good
All right.
first win, but time to go back to reality. You know where you belong.
The reality stun has been put back into place. Get out.
Reality is often disappointing.
All right, moving on to probably what I think is going to be one of the better games of the week. I think, assuming this team doesn't play like they did last week, Bills Titans.
Titans have no passing game, right? Bills have a very good passing game. Bills have a very good defense. Yeah, yes, it was only week 1, but I have the Bills winning 35-25 only because the Titans, they're just gonna fall behind early because they cannot throw the ball worth a crap.
Andrew?
I think Tennessee cleans it up. Remember, this Tennessee team minus a few players. This Tennessee team did beat Buffalo last year in an absolute thriller. So I think Tennessee stays in it a bit longer, but I do think Buffalo pulls out the win. I think Derrick Henry kind of bounces back this week. Tennessee's going to run through Derrick Henry. That's just the way their offense is. It doesn't really matter. They don't care about throwing the ball. They're literally a 1940s Army offense. So Buffalo by 14. I'm saying Buffalo 38, Tennessee 20, 24, 21.
All right. I have the Bills winning this game 28-9. And no, it's not 3 field goals. Randy Bullock's going to miss an extra point because he sucks.
Fat Randy.
So, I don't even know what I was going to say. So I think the Bills are just going to dominate this game. I have nothing else to say about that. I just want to prepare ourselves for what we're about to talk about.
Okay, relax. I'm not gonna go crazy Vikings fan.
Yeah, okay. Like I believe that one. Minnesota versus Philadelphia. Boys, what are we thinking? A not even top 5 wide receiver going up against a dual threat quarterback.
You're talking about Devontae Smith, right?
Right.
Okay, so speaking as a non-biased fan, this is going to be a big test for the Vikings. The Eagles actually have receiving weapons, 2 very good ones and a very good tight end. I'm interested to see how the defense is going to hold up against the Eagles. Like the Eagles offense, like they're gonna fly or whatever the hell their saying is, but is their defense going to hold up for 60 minutes?
16, that's it?
60.
No, the Vikings
Andrew?
defense played
32
every
Eagles
single minute of the game except the last 2 in halftime and the last 2 in the end of the game.
You know, I would not be surprised.
But hey, this ain't a Mike Zimmer coach team though.
That is true. O'Connell is pretty nice with it, I will say.
Listen,
The offense looked explosive. They looked really good.
yeah, because we're not running the ball with Dalvin Cook up the middle every. Oh, I don't miss that. Hey Zimmer, this is how you coach an NFL team in today's game. I just want to
Listen.
Well, I think it also helps not having Riley Reef as a right guard anymore because he's the worst run blocking guard, I think, in all of the National Football League.
Yeah, that was another thing I saw. That was the offensive line for Minnesota actually looked kind of good.
Yeah, because last year was awful. Just
I know.
But hey, you know what? I got Justin Jefferson on one of my leagues. You can just throw to him all day. That's all I care about.
Hey, Kevin O'Connell's going to get him motioned everywhere. You saw it. Slot, outside, inside, it don't matter.
I was going to talk about this game while we were doing reactions, but I want to talk about it now. The Eagles looked really, really good in their week 1 game. But going off that, the Lions looked really good in that game.
yeah.
I never would have thought that the Lions would have made a comeback. I mean, the Lions could have won the game, but I think the biggest problem with the Lions was they couldn't stop Jalen Hurts' feet.
It was
They couldn't stop him.
third downs that killed Detroit. They could not
Third
get
down.
the field.
Well, and when a quarterback runs for 16 yards, that just kills the defense. That just wears them down. So, but I have Philadelphia winning their division this year, and I think they're going to. I think the Eagles are going to win this game though, 28-24. However, I would not be surprised if Minnesota won this game. I mean, I'm going to honestly, I'll watch Tennessee Buffalo until Minnesota Philadelphia comes on, and then I'm not watching the rest of the Titans game. I'm going to watch the Vikings Philly because that's going to be a good game.
The Lions, since I didn't get to react too much about it, the Lions are going to be right there with the Vikings, I think, for challenging the Packers for the North. I think it's a real possibility we get all 3 teams in the playoffs: Vikings, Packers, and Lions.
That'd be fun.
And I think that'd be awesome. NFC North is looking like probably one of the best, other than Chicago.
It's a 3-headed monster.
It's looking
Then
like
you got
one
the Bears.
of the toughest divisions in football. The NFC North is always tough to play in. I think Detroit's crowd really helped Detroit stay in it and kind of shocked Philly. Jalen Hurts even came out and said, this is not the same Detroit Lions we played last year. And they stomped the Lions last year. I think it was like 41-14 or something like that.
Yeah.
I think the Vikings looked really good, as well as the Packers defense not looking good. Neither did Aaron Rodgers. I think he was still high on Ayahuasca playing that game. Rodgers always tends to take week 1 off as a bye. He takes it as, I have an extra week of vacation. So I think it's not too much to overreact, but I think the Eagles are definitely going to be putting their entire defensive focus on Jettas. I think Slay will be on him most of the game. And if it's not Slay, it's Bradbury. And I think they'll just bounce him around. Jalen Reagor revenge game, definitely. Reagor's going off for 500 yards.
Oh, Rager's going to somehow lose this game for us.
I'm picking Philly by 10, so that means the Lions are by proxy better than the Vikings. So Philly 35, Vikings 24.
That's 11 points, sir.
It's more than 10, so.
All right, Math Wiz, you can calm down.
I'm not doing math. It's 11:30 at night. I'm done. My brain is shut off.
So, all right. Well, thank you all for watching TC Sports. Please like the video below. Please subscribe. These are great videos.
I will argue with you in the comments.
So will I. If you are a Packers fan, it is on site.
Oh no. We have brought out the toxicity, boys and girls. But again, thank you for watching. Please watch this video. Please watch previous videos. Come back and see how we did on our predictions. We'll see you next time. I'm Jacob Butson. This is Andrew Schultz and Aaron Klinker on TC Sports, and we'll get you out of here.